And so, welcome to another edition of Midweek with Grace. This is our midweek online live stream, serving up some inspiration and reflection for your midweek to kind of get you through your Wednesday and on into the rest of the week. So, we are broadcasting live from Harry Potter's library. Julie wanted me to change the backdrop, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. So, but anyway, we're glad that you guys could join us. I want to share some thoughts regarding work, and I titled this little message called "Do Work." And so I want to start with a story about a woman. She's actually a mother with a couple of young kids. And one day she went up to her pastor after church and she was distraught and she was very upset. And she told the pastor that she had a deep desire to serve the homeless people at the local soup kitchen. And she wanted to do her part in addressing the homeless problem in her city. But her distress came because she couldn't do it and because she couldn't find time because she had these small children at home. And so she was very upset that she just couldn't carve out enough time to get down to the soup kitchen. So she told her pastor that if it weren't for my kids, I'd be able to do this work for God and serve these homeless people. And then the pastor, who is, wise and gave her good counsel, turned to her and told her that her work for God was to raise her kids. That she shouldn't feel distressed about not being able to serve the homeless, although that is a good endeavor and certainly beneficial. But in that moment in her life, her main vocation, her main job was to raise her children, and that she should feel peace in that, and she should feel rest in that. And so I wanted to just share with you guys some thoughts, because I think sometimes when we think of doing work for God, we equate that with working for a church or to be in professional full-time ministry. And certainly that's included in doing work for God. But during the Reformation, Martin Luther turned our idea of doing work for God upside down and on its head when he said that God is actually active not just in the full-time ministers, but God is actually doing work in the work of everyday human labor, family responsibilities like raising your kids and taking care of the home, and all our social interactions. And so Luther had this great example when he talked about how God serves and does work through everyday labor, everyday jobs. And so he talked about the Lord's Prayer in that particular part where it says, "Give us this day our daily bread." And Luther says that certainly God could feed the whole world just as he fed Israel by letting manna, the heavenly bread, fall from the sky, and we go out and we pick it up off the ground. But instead, the way God feeds the world, the way God actually does work through everyday labor is through what he called, through the milkmaid. The young woman who would go out early in the morning and would milk a cow and then deliver that milk to a place where it'd be pasteurized. And then somebody would come and pick that up. A truck driver would deliver that to a grocery store. And then the grocery store would put that on their shelves because somebody started a grocery store. And then somebody in that community would be able to drink milk because of that supply chain. And Luther said this is how God actually masks himself or hides himself in the everyday work of his people. And so he gave other examples, such as God heals the sick. And how does he do that? Well, he heals the sick through doctors and medical experts and nurses and medical professionals. And so God does this work through the labor of our medical professionals. Or God protects us. How does he protect us? Well, he does that through police officers, and he does that through first responders. God teaches us. How does he do that? Through teachers. He does that through, the pastors, by preaching the gospel. And so I think sometimes when we think about doing work for God, we can, maybe if we're not in professional ministry, we can get a little kind of maybe wondering or confused, like, or, what can I do for God? Well, the very thing that's in front of you for you to do, the very thing that you find yourself doing right now is doing work for God, because God is actually working through that. So maybe you're stuck in a job that you just think is a dead end. It's like, man, this thing isn't going nowhere. Now, it's certainly okay to look for better opportunities down the road, but where you are right now, that's God's work. You're doing God's work because through that, God is doing work through you. Or maybe you are a mother and you're at home with kids and you're just kind of feeling a little closed in because all you're doing is talking to 5-year-olds and you're just dying for adult interaction. And that's certainly nothing wrong with that, and I hope you can get that. But also realize that for now, right, that's your calling. That's the vocation that God has you in. And he is raising those kids. He is teaching those kids about himself. He is keeping those kids healthy and safe. How? Through you. This coming Sunday is Mother's Day, and a lot of times, moms can feel like, wow, maybe I don't have such an important role, but hey, just understand that God is doing good work through you. God does work through our government. Sometimes our government doesn't do smart things, but at the same time, God helps keep civil order in our society through government. And so he's always working through imperfect agents to accomplish his will. So with that said, I just wanted to encourage us this midweek that no matter what you find your hand doing, whether that's at home or at a job, maybe you're isolated or sequestered in place, sheltered in place, whatever you find in front of you to do, that's God's work for you, and that God's working through that to serve others. So have confidence in that. Take joy in that God's work isn't only done in the church, but that it's done throughout society. It's happening in your home as we speak. So just wanted to encourage you with that short little encouragement this afternoon, midweek with Grace. And so that we're doing good work. And also, as a reminder, every Sunday at 9:30 a.m., we are live for our Sunday gathering. We're going through a series in the book of Titus called The Dash, Living a Beautiful Life. And so if you're not in a church, or you're kind of in between churches or looking, I want to invite you to come check out Grace City. You can find us on Facebook, on our Facebook page, or we're also live on Zoom. And so you can learn more about our meetings and our church at gracecityhawaii.com. All right. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to ask my wife, Julie, if she has anything that she wants to say or add to anything.
I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there on Sunday, that you are appreciated and you are doing a good work. So hang in there. And if you need someone to talk to, you can always call me or text me. I'm available all day.
All right. Yeah, text Julie. Okay, you guys. Well, Julie and I, we love you. And Grace City Church, you are special to us. In particular, we're praying for you all. And we look forward to seeing you this Sunday at our Sunday gathering. All right. God bless. Have a great rest of the day.